The report under the topic World Changing Businesses by Tanakorn N 6025106. So let's get started by how we do business in past, present, and future. In the far past, we trade and exchange things and agriculture as a main way to do businesses and to survive. Then later, we start to produce, sell, and buy goods. Then it comes to industry. Some of the most dramatical changes in world of business have happened in last century. When the internet were invented, new technologies multiply, rise, and develop. From the diagram, we see that the internet and technology is the principal key of the development through the ages, from past to present, from present to futures. So as I mentioned on the last slide before, trade was the first things humans do to get stuff in the past. For example, A have rice and B have fish. A and B can exchange rice with fish, then B can get the rice and A can get the fish. That's how trade works. Then, when the money was created, we use the money as a medium in payment. We pay money, then we get stuff. That's how it works. Which brings people to start commercialize, and many industry and services will go up respectively. And the way of doing business are mostly in the office, press, marketing, and advertisement, via books and magazines. Businesses in present. So many new businesses model like startup, new ideas of doing businesses, also e-money or cryptocurrencies, plus many new technologies and everything moving to the internet. So businesses model. In present, there are still old traditional way of doing business, but I talk about new ways of doing business. So the startup is the small business that create to solve the problem or to make people to be convenient in the short period of time. For example, application queue plus retail like Shopee, Lazada, or we can call e-commerce. So queue, it is an application in Thailand. Its purpose is to make a reservation for bank, restaurant, and hospital, which will save a lot of time for all the customers. So both Shopee and Lazada is an e-commerce company which they sell the goods on the internet. So people doesn't need to always shop at the physical shop. So let's talk about five examples of new business ideas. In present, begin with transportation networking involved car sharing, bike sharing, car park sharing, where people can rent a car and bike or car park for a short period of time. Hospitality services. There are accommodation sharing, where two parties can live together like Airbnb.com, and house swapping. It is to exchange the house when two parties travel to another places and each one live in each other houses under the condition between them. And travel website, the website that give all the detail when you are going to travel, like hotel, place to visit, tours. For example, agoda.com. So co-working space, it can be defined as a methodology of bringing all together teams with wide focus to work under one roof. This gives a difference between sitting at the office, because co-working spaces give a freedom and independence. Crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is another interesting business that came up recently. Crowdfunding is the way to get budgets on the new projects or ideas by let anyone knows what your project about, and if they're interested they can donate some budget. It is a form of crowdsourcing and alternative finance. So next, how are these businesses changing our life? Apparently, we can see that the technologies help us to be way more convenient. However, it is also a double-edged sword because it totally changed our lifestyle. Many kids who born in this decade are mostly spend time on screen since they were very young, which will bring many effects like eyes problems and more. And also the laziness has rapidly increases because everything is so easy till we barely have to move. Just touch and command the technologies, and that will bring you many health problems like fat. Come to the effects on economy and society. From the table, we can see that there are positive and negative effects on our society. The positives like the uses of computer in medical field, job opportunity, and to be able to work from home. Communication at distances, researching, self-learning, and current event awareness, and even more. A negative like technology has replaced a lot of human interaction, cybercrime, wastage of time. Like many people use computer or technology in the wrong way, like playing game for a whole day, chat with friends for a very long time. The most important thing is it can also give health problems like eyes, fats, laziness. And from the graph, if we were to consider the global technology economy of countries and its yearly spending is GDP, it would be ranked as the world's third largest economy between the economies of China and Japan, and more than twice the size of the UK economy. The drop in technology intensity that results from a decline in technology spending causes that labor force to decrease, which shows up in the productivities up to 3 years later, because productivity is the stickier measure of relationship between technology's intensity and GDP is better illustrated in this graph. Effects on environment. Since technology requires many sources of energy which cause them to above to run out coal and fossil fuels in these few years. So in order to handle that, we need alternative energies like solar cells. On the other hand, we knew that we can't find another source apart from the coal and fossil, but we still have to handle with global warming and climate change and many natural disasters which caused by burning factories. So let's talk about the businesses in the future. I give the example of the technologies that will be very business for sure in the future. These are robots, blockchain, AI, mind uploading, internet. So let's get started by robots. Robot is one of the artificial technologies that make to do what human ask to do, for example to work, to help, to comfort, to entertain, or even to be friend with human and more. So this robot name is Sandy. Sandy is one of the robot that used to send the mail in the organization in Thailand, and also this robot is the robot that can make fried eggs from CPF company. And if we talk about robot, we have to talk about AI or artificial intelligence. This is basically a machine or robot that's able to think, to learn, or to solve the problems. Example of AI is AlphaGo. It was developed by Google DeepMind in London. This is an AI that able to play Go. Go is a board game. It managed to win the series of game 4-1 against Lee Sendo, the professional Go player of 9 Dan rank. The use of AI can be used in automated transportation like Tesla, but the scope of AI presents both threats and opportunities. So as Stephen Hawking said, AI would take off on its own and redesign itself at the ever-increasing rate. Humans who are limited by slow biological evolution couldn't compete and would be suspended. And even computer will overtake humans with AI within the next 100 years. When that happens, we need to make sure that computers have goals aligned with ours. So it means that the AI and computer may actually have life in the future, and it may take away the humanities. So we have to make sure that those AI and technologies we made are under control and in the same side with us. Plus, Elon Musk, the founders of SpaceX company who work on the AI projects and high technologies, say that AI is far more dangerous than nuclear head war. This scared the hell out of him. So the AI that we know is not just what we have been thinking, but it is way more than we think. My uploading is the hypothetical futuristic process of scanning the mental state of a particular brain substance and copying it into the computer. Basically, it is to keep memory and everything that brains do in the file in the computer. It may be true that humans can live forever in the future. So blockchains. Blockchain is a growing list of records called blocks, which are linked using cryptography. Each block contains a cryptographic hash of a previous block, or we can call the data of the previous block. In the future, I believe that the bank will be no longer necessary because of the blockchain technologies, since blockchain is resistant to modification of the data, so it can allow the people to do a transaction without any intermediaries. And for highly charged, we will use the digital money or cryptocurrency instead of the cash. And lastly, business disruption and prediction. I think that a ton of the businesses will be overthrown by the new technologies. Businesses, just like what already happened so far. The films cameras company is gone because of the digital camera, for example, and cheap computer will be much smarter than a human mind, and people will be involved in visual more than a real world because of the fact that everything are in digital nowadays. So thank you for listening, and keep in mind that singularity is near.